Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the VCT Last Chance Qualifier, where I'm standing here with Coach Adam after a very convincing map number 1 on Bind as they take down MIBR. So, first of all, Coach Adam, congratulations on that first map. I know the series is not done with, but I did want to ask you about how the team has been practicing during this break. It's no question that throughout the season, Crew had so many close games, especially in that last game in the group stage against Cloud9, so close, and yet never able to convert it to a full-out win. So what were the biggest learning lessons and what did the team work on during the break?
Yeah, so as we lost every series on the league, it was really hard because we have a team that is used to win. Is one of the teams that has played in every international match. So the mental and the mindset was like broken because loss after loss after loss is really hard to come back. So we said we are going to take a break, 20 days of break, and I told him I want all of you to reset, like to leave that loss behind, and then we will go back to LA and we are going to train for 31 days. And that's what we did. We practiced a lot. Like the team was able to move on on all of that losses, and also moving to LA is hard for us. And the guys they were strong. They work as they were intended to do, and we practiced the best we could, and hopefully we can make an historic run on Last Chance.
Well, it's fantastic to hear that you and the boys got a bit of a chance to get that reset. Hopefully, you can close this out as you head into map number 2. For now, we are going to head back to Golden Boy on the desk.
Thank you so much for that, Smix. Always good to hear from the coaches. And yeah, I mean, I think it goes without saying you have to shake that off. You cannot let the past linger too much. And it's very clear that is exactly what Crew did, especially with what we've seen on Bind from this team, Wyatt.
What Klaus said before the game in the interview was so apt. It doesn't matter that they went 0-9 if they went 4-5. All that matters is winning LCQ. And it looks like they're on a mission to do exactly that.
And the improvement from Crew, even in this first map, was really impressive. The fundamentals were always the biggest critique of this team. Kesnet being too far ahead, a little bit of miscoordination in these late rounds. I didn't really see that in this map to the same extent we saw previously. It really did look like a coordinated squad, playing their retakes together, having lineups, ideas of how they wanted to play their post plants in particular. And it's got to be such a big moment for them, as you can see from the pop-offs on stage, because this is their first step towards breaking that barrier of never winning a match.
You can see the emotion is back. If you remember Crew with those international lands, like remember when they beat Sentinels at Champions, the reaction from the players? They were going, yeah, that was one of the all-time VALORANT pops. And they're back with that mentality. They have that killer instinct again individually that you remember seeing from those guys in that era, and it was gone all season except for Kesnet, who, like you were saying, sometimes went overboard. So to see them like this again is just awesome.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And for Kesnet, he came out swinging in this matchup, playing on this race. I think he was a big part of a lot of the team's ideas for their retakes. They were almost always built around sending in a molly, sending in a sky flash, and a nade all at the same time, and then just letting these players loose. And Kesnet was so good as an individual. And on the other side, for JZZ, the guy slipping back into that duelist role for the first time in a long while on MIBR. He also made a lot of improvements, but the thing is, I didn't see that same coordination with his utility being used with the team in the same way we saw it from Kesnet and Crew.
I couldn't agree more. JZZ had his individual moments where he was able to get 2Ks just based on his own skill, his own prowess, but then he didn't have that setup that Kesnet had. He didn't have those moments where Kesnet could just throw a nade and there was already a Viper molly giving one of the enemy players a vulnerable to just get a free kill. Like, that is some of the stat padding that Kesnet had. He did great individually, but that coordination was there. It made him look even better.
Yeah, Crew looking absolutely fantastic, but now we need to figure out what's going on with the MIBR camp. Luckily, we have Smick standing by with Coach Bazooka to do just that. What you got for us, Sue?
Thank you very much, Golden Boy, standing here with Bazooka ahead of map number 2 against Crew. Real quick, I know you had a little bit of time with the boys to recollect after map number 1. How did that conversation go in preparation for hopefully a different outcome this time around?
Yeah, I think we hesitated a lot in the first match. So in the second match, just go on and just do our game. And we are ready for that.
Sounds very good. Thank you very much, Bazooka. Golden Boy, back to you to get this map number 2 underway.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I mean, look, honestly, I think it makes sense. Bazooka, obviously, just keeping kind of the, the discussion a little close to the chest there, because this is it, right? And for MIBR, you're basically backs against a wall. You have no other choice here. This is do or die. But before we get into our second map, though, let's do what we always do. Head around for an aim lab shoot around. This time, we're hanging out with the Miracle Worker. It's going to be chosen. Unfortunately, no miracles worked this time around on Bind for MIBR, Wyatt. And now you're kind of left wondering, what does Lotus, that has to be the saving grace for this team, and you're really looking for guys like Chosen to step up.
I mean, that is his iconic map. We all know what happened the last time.
It's a lot of pressure,
Lotus.
though.
It doesn't even need to be said. There is a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He didn't have a great performance on Bind. He was 0-4 in first kills to first deaths, and Crew were converting those 5v4s and even half the 4v5s in that game.
Yeah.
So Chosen needs to get himself out of those situations where he's taking those first contacts, or he needs to find a way to actually win those duels. And it was FRZ who was actually stepping up on that chamber, getting the first kills. He finished with 6 of them. Only 2 times did he die first. Chamber may be back. I'm curious to see if they just have him play that on Lotus, because when Lotus came out, that was one of the maps where even when Chamber was super nerfed, people were speculating that maybe this is the home for him.
Yeah, I don't expect a change necessarily, because I actually really like the composition that MIBR was running at the end of the season. They picked up the Cloud9 comp that a lot of other teams started to run, with that double controller Neon Sky that's built around finding timings on the rotation on your defense with the Neon, and on the attack side, having really flexible pieces of utility and fast rotations to be able to make your calls around. I do hope they stick to that, but this does kind of come back to the question of mental, because for MIBR in that last match of the season versus 100 Thieves, they had no expectations. They had lost 10 maps in a row going into that one. They made a big upset happen. Here it's very different. Here it is do or die. You lose this map, you go home, and that month of prep coming back to LA kind of ends in nothing, but already changes coming out here for both sides, actually.
We do have Chosen back on that KJ, though. That is where he looked most comfortable, in my opinion, previously when he played those few maps. So I think he can step it up here. And they do actually have JZZ on the Raze, and again, Kesnet on the Raze. So the Raze head-to-head battle is going to continue with both of these star-impactful duelists.
I don't like the Raze pick quite as much as the Neon most of the time, but I think it's much more comfortable for JZZ. The Neon allows you to have those stunts, the fast rotations, the fast lane as well, to really vary the pace of your game. With the Raze, when you're only running the Sky to support, it's a lot harder to get those same rotations, to play in the same way. So it really does switch up the style. But a lot of teams have been playing this comp, and it is what Crew will show for really their first go in a while here on Lotus to try and close that.
Well, if you're MIBR, you're praying, you're hoping, you're going to do everything in your power to force this into a third map, because this is it. And honestly, this broadcast would be crazy short if it ends right here. So let's go ahead and send it back over to Vansili and Rivington for the call.
Thank you, GB. Indeed, I'm not ready to go home just yet, so yes, I'm hoping
we just got back here.
Exactly, man. Like, we've been waiting for like a month. We got back here on the stage. Now we want to see MIBR push us to a third map if we can, but it's not going to be an easy map against Crew. Yes, despite Crew being 0-3 on this very map during the Americas, they're all heartbreaker losses once again. OT against Cloud9, OT against Sentinels, 13-11 win for MIBR in week number 2 on this map. So they have to fight hard for this, and it's not going to be an easy team to knock over.
It won't, and they've got comp changes coming in for both squads. No more Harbor in here. We actually haven't seen that forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Washed out, if you will. And yeah, not Neon. I also am a favor of the Neon pick, but we're not going to get it. We are going to get the Raze duel, so just as good here. Let's see what they have for each other to start off. I think Orb Control may spell the name of the game in the early part here, as we have a lot of slow play to gauge who's going to be pushing. MIBR not really trying to feign any mid push, but are trying to get a bit of that C control. There's a death pile of utility for Chosen over at A. We probably see that almost every round here.
You already see it. Davies still watching their backs win. MIBR are trying to do some sort of trap play through the smoke, but Crew looking to initiate towards A. Rotation already coming back from MIBR, and there's that turret spawning the first contact. But breaking through the door, it's time to pivot towards that B site, where currently FRZ's winning at the top. Big paranoia to push him back. Kesnet gaining that space. Wow. 1v1 against FRZ. A double swing about to come out. And it's MIBR with a 2 first bloods in this round.
Incredibly aggressive scaling into the site without knowing what is deeper in that defensive area. MIBR, open arms, grab a few kills there. And now they're looking for the final 3.
Right Pick Classic is the name of the game inside of this smoke. MIBR looking to double push through. A couple of kills coming across. Melzer wins both
2v2
of those 2 kills, and Davies on the flank. There's only FRZ. 13 HP, turret comes out, jump spot. And we are playing the protocols for Crew on the pulse plan, flushing out FRZ, letting the turret be the contact. And there's almost going to be no time. Crew turns it around in their favor. Davies picking up the last kill where it should have been MIBR's round.
It's the Sky voice line there. I didn't sign up for this. Exactly. Just continuously forced to double take, then fight the turret and not get the kill that they needed. Crew pick up pistol round. Very reminiscent of the start of Bind. A lot of good frags here, and then patience at the end, which is what we've been asking for both of these teams in these tight situations. That push forward again, a little aggressive, but they still are able to stave off a loss, come out with a win there.
Yeah.
All right, Crew, aggressive strategy towards B to start things off, get up close and personal on MIBR to start off our Lotus match. And they do focus, as we saw, pushing towards A. Kesnet on the ultimate last round. A lot of times you'll get the Seekers focused or the lockdown focused, but we do see that Raze being a priority for Crew here. All the way into B, Waltz's Crew.
Snuck in behind the Toxic screen. Toxin trying to go for the peek off the turret contact, but 2 players actually slipped through. So that's the first player falling down. A site's open. Another one trying to catch one off guard. That's Maurice trying to swing back towards the spawn, but cannot get the pick. Plant will come down, and it's time to play the pulse plant for Crew.
Yep.
And this time around, you've mentioned it, Riv, there's no Harbor that we see, but there's still a double controller for both of these teams. And pulling out this Raze, I still will be in a little bit of a disagreement with you. I do like the Razes on this map. Because of all these trap plays that's been coming out from Crew on that first map with Kesnet, this is definitely something that they could do here to continue to add that pressure. We're gaining space and playing these pulse plants.
Oh!
Yeah, nice little shot coming out here.
Little damage.
Even nicer out from Melzer.
Yeah, just quickly trading quick. And another Molly kill.
And we're gonna actually try to pick up the orbs instead. Okay, that's actually quite interesting. Staying within the radius.
Exactly.
MIBR involuntarily actually did a lot of damage in that eco after all.
Huh, getting themselves in a position. And Crew do pick up another one, but lose a little bit of the economy there. We'll see if that affects them coming into this round. Melzer are figuring what they can buy.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to be the Sheriff. So this bonus is going to feel a little weird.
It definitely affects them. Davies was looking to get that Vandal. Hey, I don't have enough money. We got to play the bonus. They actually were inching towards 3 Vandals in this round for Crew. And instead of that, it's just 1 Guardian, 1 Vandal. But a Guardian in the hands of Kesnet could do a lot of damage.
A control play. And we saw it before. Instant shots, whether they're happening over towards Hookah or here on Lotus. And everybody from MIBR is B. This allows them to quickly spread out to either side, either site, and react to Crew here. So MIBR is just looking to stay a little closer to what Crew may be able to produce this round. Is this an alt grab? They go for left one, and just Kesnet needs one here. That would actually be a huge boon for this round if they can get map control for that.
And Melzer's actually the one that was making sure they could prevent any pushes coming out from MIBR, covering that orb. Now it's picked up by Kesnet. An opportunity to go for a late hit now in the C side using the showstopper as the opener.
There.
MIBR reads into this though. 3 players are rotating across.
This is where I do really favor the Rays. Being able to blast pack to the elbow here of C, so hard to deny. You go over the Killjoy utility if it is present. And they're going to be a little door play as they go quasi-global with the audio here to try and trick MIBR into rotating.
Flash, Paranoia, double satchel, showstopper out.
Little rail grind.
Playing CPMA at this point. Clearing out the side though for C. It's a pulse plant on a 5 versus 5 retake for MIBR with the weapon advantage.
Yeah, they're huddled in sight right now, hunkered down, ready to defend here. 3 from sight, 2 from waterfall. This is going to have to be MIBR closing in on the guns as quick as possible.
Keeping the smokes close so they can play inside the site. Trying to use these sheriffs for some kills.
Good
Nice shot by Chosen through the smoke. Big Paranoia then coming out. Time for MIBR to flood back for the retake. Nags it around the corner. Vulnerable to a couple of players. But it's MIBR that floods and drowns Crew on the post plant.
You
to
expect
get the first point on the round.
Expect that on the eco. It's kind of like a stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting, you just run in and you're able to trounce your opponent. So there's the first round to defuse. It has been Crew getting in, being able to find success on the sites, get that spike down and pressure MIBR to the fullest. MIBR answer. See what they can keep doing. So Crew do suffer a little bit on that bonus from losing quite a few members, and MIBR come out with the W. Where do they go from here? This A control has been big to start the last few rounds for MIBR. Quick nade, quick rubble pressure, and then they force the hand of Crew to do something else.
Oh, a double shrouded step, a flash to allow for RGL to try to push forward, but he got hit by that. So Melzer takes the advantage. Capitalizes on the kill, Crew pushing forward. Continue to hold W as they catch players of MIBR off guard, not expecting Melzer to be so close towards Rubble.
Just a firing range. They're taunting each other to come out and compete there at Rubble. You got to get a few of these rounds in to test each other. And you see a quick rotation back by Chosen just to kind of set up the map in a safer position.
Sometimes you got to make those plays. 2-player disadvantage. Marie's trying to push forward. TP now canceled. So that's actually going to leave MIBR anchored towards A.
Good peeks for Maurice here, getting a lot of information to allow MIBR the correct positioning to defend, but at 1-1-1 across the map, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
As Crew look to just go right into B, but into that Killjoy utility.
You're hoping now Chosen in his spot could do that econ damage, drop some players at least to get some chances for MIBR.
The delay
on a pulse plan as Crew is looking to push towards B. There's that first delay with the first nano swarm for Chosen. A spray then across with the Vandal. But Crew still makes it in. Plant now comes down with 13 seconds left. Got some damaged players though.
Yeah, Trailblazer. There's a lot of damage though on Klaus there. That utility they need to get back in. So if Klaus can stay alive, this makes it infinitely harder for MIBR. Otherwise, just a few nice shots, even at the legs, could whittle down Crew's numbers.
MIBR avoided the Trailblazer, and they know with this alarm bar placed towards that baby door, they're not getting pressured yet.
I think they're...
Oh yeah, they're picking up weapons to save here.
Looks like it. I was gonna say they're pressuring themselves in this moment as everything heats up. But it looks like this one's gonna fizzle out here. Well, Spike won't, but the round in favor now of MIBR. They pick up a second one, or sorry, of Crew. They pick up a third, I should say. And MIBR save 3 here. I feel like both teams know rounds are gonna go either way, right? MIBR is feeling much more comfortable in these situations that they'll need full gun rounds to pressure Crew. They can't be giving up a few guns here and there. This is gonna take everything.
Yeah. FRZ, really what he can work with is maybe a Sheriff is gonna get a Bulldog drop. While the rest, saving those 3 rifles are gonna be very important, as you mentioned here, Riv. They felt that pressure from Crew earlier on towards that A site. They go for the triple push. Adding that pressure, pushing forward once again towards Rubble, and finally gets locked down. So you can get these early rotates now from MIBR towards B and C. Well, Maurice has these 2 snake bites. Lays the first one down.
Davies 1 away from lockdown. They continue to farm orbs on both sides of the map. They really can't stop each other at this point.
Oh, walk in for contact like that. Kesnet gets the opener. Pain shells to push a second defender back, and that's going to be JZZ. Holding it behind. Door being open. Long-range battle in favor of Davies. And that might be it right away for MIBR.
Yeah, Davies coming back into the end of the regular season for Xeddie. Seeing those frags against Sentinels and Cloud9, still bringing a bit of that momentum now, a month later. This is going to be a tough one to retake. Jumping around like it's a jungle gym in there as LGL does find a frag on Melzer.
And MIBR are hoping that these overheats could continue on this post plant to get a chance to come back. But after that second satchel and hearing that spike taken down, finally we have the confirmation. Cannot punish any more crew members on a post plant to hurt that economy where they would have had a chance here, a fighting chance over to the next round.
And again, crew able to just throw in slight variations. This one controlling the map into a complete dry peak. That was close. That was a little offhanded shot, almost hitting one in the head there as RGL dodges.
Hard to shoot when the banner comes in front of your face like that.
That's true. So what is this? But you expect a blast pack here. You expect audio, a cue, something. But it was not the case. The door opens and Davey fires true through it, as that was just from the teammate too, so they had to be aware of all their surroundings on the side of crew. 4-1 now, reminiscent of our first map, but MIBR fighting back a little sooner this time. Crew looks to pull away even more though on these rounds.
Davies with those kills now has a lockdown activated. And not playing any type of lurks or any type of defaults. Just gonna be a full hit now. Another ore being picked up on the attack. Trailblazer spotting chosen as once again a firing range through the opening doors.
Yeah, ambitious Vandal spams.
Maybe you don't even need that lockdown anymore. A site now open, plant coming down. Use a lockdown on the pulse plant if needed be. But already once again in these situations where crew gets a plant.
Yeah.
It's such a huge disadvantage already for MIBR to come back for the retake. Always two players behind, two players at a disadvantage. And they don't have the players, the utility to do what they can to try to go for this retake. And on top of that, dropping players, losing weapons.
Yeah. And you look at that econ too. 0, 150, 100, 1,050 credits. FRZ though?
Being shots though at least. And yeah, the round's still gonna come in for a crew, but at least you can get a couple of highlight reels if you can for FRZ. Until Davies, the player now currently shining on this second map.
Yeah.
For crew.
Looking really good. Love the initiator utility on that KO, now on the Killjoy. Doing some big stuff. And looking at how crew is playing these rounds, they continue to pressure MIBR in ways that almost seems like MIBR is disjointed in the response, right? Crew goes for a push towards the door, and MIBR answers with spamming through the door. But you had JZZ pushing up mid to try and get a flank. So that flank works better when A stays alive, right? It seems like MIBR is fighting on too many parts of the map before their strategy on defense can come into position.
And sometimes it's just unlucky too, right? We've seen this story so far in this head-to-head for these two teams that MIBR are just suffering the blunt force of these spam kills coming out from crew.
Yeah, crew forces your hand in a lot of these situations. It's not like you have a choice.
Yeah.
All right, lockdown in. This will give us a little bit of a slowdown on the round here as MIBR resets their defense. We'll see if crew actually bites here and full takes on A.
Yeah.
There it is, into win. See if they plant for mound or plant inside. Not a lot of mound plants have been used recently, or at least in this game that we've seen. It's all site defense now. They don't want to play this aim for the head game over mound.
Even playing inside the site.
Yeah.
Showstopper available, and we're just spraying once again a wall bang. Showstopper out for Kesnet. JZZ falls. And now with the Sheriffs remaining in the hands of MIBR, this little Shiko that they have only works out for one kill against Kesnet. Marie so low on HP.
One enemy remaining.
See if they make it out this time.
What can you really do?
No one's shoes are tied together. They get the kills before they have to get out in time. The Crew fans are feeling it. Crew is feeling it. 6-1. One more, they replicate our first map first half score. As they continue to punish, only losing the bonus round on this one and then pulling it right back in their Okay, Davies.
That's what I'm saying,
my
man.
Gosh. And that's a lot of what happened in the first round too, right? We saw Klaus getting smoke frag after smoke frag. Davies now getting these offhanded kills through walls that aren't allowing the retake of the site by MIBR. And that everything falling in favor of Crew here, and not just by chance. They are lining these things up.
It almost feels that that's been a practice as well for Crew. Not only the mental that Coach Adam was talking about earlier on with Smix, but it's also just optimizing what they're currently doing here on taking sites, playing these pulse plants. And surprisingly enough, you're getting a lot of these kills with sprays, 2 smokes, but with Vandals.
Yeah. Right, there are a lot of Vandals, and they're happy to keep spraying that and try and find the refrag there.
And Crew doesn't care about the magazine actually dropping out with the latest patches. They're just spraying and still landing these shots. As if we never had the nerfs here in the Phantom and the Vandals and what's left in the reserve of the bullets. 6-1 now in favor of Crew. Familiar territory from the first map on Bind.
Yeah. Full buys throughout. MIBR considering that less reserves with an Odin in hand now. Chosen, ready to spam some people down. We'll see if that has a return on investment for him. Ultimate's ready just from the shadows, but FRZ can identify what the strategy of Crew here is if they want to use a 3 push out to mount right away. All right, a little different look here as MIBR starts to control the map and basically cut off one site, right?
Yeah.
Play it a lot like Haven and just make sure you have to defend
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Adding the pressure on C, adding the pressure on A, this time gambling for the C push to flood Crew into the Killjoy utility. Set up now by Chosen on A. There's that alarm bot, gets shot off right away. But still a great position, Crew moving forward where they are right now. Control of the orb. Late rotates that are available if they want to break the door and move back towards B, and that's where MIBR is actually moving here.
Right.
Going left and right with the push and pull, and trying to catch some players off guard if this door gets broken and Crew commits to B.
Looks like they're ready to C4 the door. Just blast right through. Here we go. Rest of the team.
Through. Paranoia then comes out. Pain Shell just to clear one corner. Seekers then coming out, giving out actually the defender's position away. And they're chasing that on Davies, and he just can't. 2 players falling down once again. The story continues, hitting a site, losing left. 2 or 3 players for MIBR. And there's really no answer and nothing you could do here on pulse plants but save.
Wow. Chosen fires the Odin, and Crew says, nah, we don't really want that. Go right through the baby door into B and find everything they want in FRZ, Maurice, and JZZ. Insta-kills coming in there. The pressure onto C wasn't even seen by Crew this round, right? They avoided it almost immediately after hearing the utility. Crew playing the mid-round of these maps so well. The decisions they're making, everybody's behind them, and you can see how well they're being executed.
Player standing.
Can't even save the Odin either.
RGL. All right.
Silver lining to get something.
Yeah, I get Davies. Be like, okay, Davies down. Let's keep doing that. Replicate. The 7-1 comes back to haunt MIBR.
Unlucky, really.
Oh, good Lord, too. It's like, even in that situation, that you can't really call a mistake, but you throw out Seekers and you're just peeking around the Seekers. Your opponent's not affected by them yet. The Seekers haven't found anything for you. It's almost like a dry peak overall. So I think MIBR is getting a little too antsy in how secure their strategies feel, right? Without reconsidering, Crew has been on the winning end of a lot of these trades.
Yeah. But finally an opportunity here for MIBR to turn things around in round number 9.
Yeah.
Lots of ults available for retakes this time around, and actually doing a great job doing some early damage with their own sprays through smokes. Forcing out the regrowth very early out from Klaus.
Shadows traveling.
And even forcing Crew to rethink how they want to attack this map, pulling back down towards spawn. Davies with the lurk, 1 versus 1, potentially against RGL, unless the cavalry comes.
Yeah.
An opportunity now with this smoke being left up for Klaus to actually flash through this. And RGL has to be smart about it, and indeed he does. He falls back towards the C entrance, sorry.
Bomb grenade out.
As his smoke was about to dissipate.
This push up here by Nags can give so much information. And it actually pulls back Chosen. Looked like they were going to lean towards the other side of the map, and now A connector has to be covered because the util of that alarm bot is
30
gone.
seconds left.
And they're looking for Chosen to peek. They see a shoulder.
Definitely a Seeker's hit now. Showstopper immediately out for GZZ. Gets hit by Etzel, forces out the rocket right away. Pain shells on the ground, underhand throw. 15 seconds left on the clock. There's that lockdown. Crew have now to commit, forces a sight. The sprays comes across. GZZ gets the headshot, looks for the kill but cannot get it. The spike has been planted, and we're playing outside of the radius of the lockdown.
3v4.
And Crew on a post plant. A flash coming through. No lineouts this time around for Davies. Paranoia then comes out of RGL. Kesnet and Nags trying to hold it back. Force on a reload is going to be Nags. Kesnet down to 5 HP. Tap on the spike, Kesnet, 5 HP. Does not matter. Pen shells then coming back after these 2 kills. Maurice now on a 2 versus 1. Makes it at least that 1v1. The wall bang does not get the hit onto Nags.
5 bullets.
Another tap coming through. Nags it, pulls out all of the utility down. The kill then comes in for Maurice.
Incredible, but you see the storm that MIBR has to weather to get through these rounds, multiple rounds where Kesnet's getting double nades due to the kills, due to getting that duelist signature back up. And MIBR, JZZ even getting snuffed out, and Seekered on the showstopper comes up huge. And the rest of the team able to secure the kills necessary to get MIBR another round. Hell of a battle there at A, and MIBR comes in with the W.
You saw the idea there from Nags. It definitely looked like, from a point of view of a spectator, you're like, oh, is it instinct? Why is he running through this? There's still time on the spike, but he used that utility from that Viper just to re-pivot towards the staircase. And Maurice read that, himself being a Viper player, and read that perfectly on a Red Bull clutch to allow this round to come in for MIBR. And it took everything, all of the ultimates, and a clutch situation for them to get round number 2.
And off the rip right into B here. Looks like it's going to be a big retake. 5v5, lots of utility still to be used here. Oh, FRZ to start us off.
This is good. Paranoia, that's going to hit 2. Doors being open. Melzer trying to hold it back and keeping him away. What? And now the lockdown is just going to push everybody back. Chosen's going to get hit by that, but it still is able to make it out, at least into safe cover. The clock is being wasted now on that spike. GZZ trying to do whatever he can. Fully blinded now. Double swing out from Crew on a post plant. Pain shells being thrown. Post plant utility just too good.
Oh my gosh.
And Chosen, the one that was locked down and detained, finds freedom, but not to their favor. Crew gets 8 on the board with the crowd once again behind them.
This little door game that Crew continues to play is not being won by MIBR, and I wonder why they keep trying to fight through it. The mountain control is something that we see MIBR keep going for, and Crew will not fight it straight up from the attack side, but they'll fight it through the door over and over. Smiles all around. They're winning the 1v1s at this point. We're seeing trades from solo players coming through. The 2v1s are being won by Crew, and the teamwork on top of that when they need it. We're seeing the 8-2 score line here. Chico round a little bit, actually just one Sheriff on the board for MIBR with a Bulldog for Chosen. And they are still trying to take a little bit of space here to put Crew off.
MIBR want to fight this. Looking for a contact from a flash here as Nagzet goes for the jump peek. There's that deep flash, turns away from it, and now the flood comes across. But Nagzet now could just play the aim lapse. Drops 2 kills, loses the weapon, but at least that's a C site open for the plant.
Maurice gets the weapon. You always wonder. Let's see what he can produce.
Spike planted.
I like the plant. They move it a bit since they don't have that site control. We've been seeing Crew able to get themselves.
I mean,
Melzer's gonna stay there.
Nags did everything he could spotted the 5-player push out from MIBR. Crew pivots to plant for a spawn, knowing that spawn's going to be open so they could gain that space. And they also have Killjoy pulse plant utility. MIBR, what they could hope for at least is to do more econ damage from a spike going off, just like they did a couple of rounds back, to keep the economy low against Crew.
Good placement of the Vandal.
For the first kill against Klaus. Chosen, then punished by Melzer on that pulse plant. Kesnet looking to answer back. Avenges his teammate! And shoots with full confidence as Crew moves up at 9 rounds.
9-3 again? Are we gonna get it?
Last round in the half.
Crew continues to dominate here. Starting on defense on Bind, but still looking the same starting on attack here on Lotus. MIBR's map pick for map 2 of this best of 3. Elimination is not far away here for MIBR. They want to secure a last round. Get that last ounce of potential in the game to stave off a quick win in second half by Crew if they can get Pistol. This is tough. This is where the pressure sets in for MIBR here. They're looking at the end of the season in LCQ and their chances at champions.
Yeah. Inaugural season now for VCT in Americas.
I know some of them.
Hi, Ethan.
I know some of them.
But indeed, backs against the wall, but they're looking to fall flat so far here in MIBR. Unfortunately, Crew looking like a different beast.
They have been loud for Crew coming into this series for sure in the top. We hear the MIBR fans out there as well, but it's much more timid now as we're not seeing MIBR find answers, get those wins. And even when they do have the site, you're still wondering, how does Crew take this back? It's not how does MIBR defend this. That's the story we're being told right now. That's what Crew is writing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the story one of these teams, like I said, needed to write coming into LCQ. You can't be timid. You have to go for the throat, and Crew is doing just that. Odin back now onto Maurice as we get into our last round of the first half here, map 2.
And Crew looking to re-add that pressure back towards the consistent seaside pressure that MIBR has been doing again and again. So if an early flash pushes MIBR back as they double up 2 players out towards the front B site. Spike is moving there, towards in that direction. Crew looking for an opportunity here to go for that mid to B split. First, adding that pressure on that A site. There's that flash to peek right back out. The trades are good for both of the teams. Now finally in favor of MIBR. JZZ now with the showstopper, understanding, identifying that a mid to B split was about to happen. And the showstopper keeps everybody away. And MIBR are also very content to give the spike back in the hands of Crew.
Slow push, regain that spike. Crew looks like they're in full control. The movement they do, even when they lose a few, they have a quick answer in what they want to produce. But MIBR, we still see them trying to get their hand in the pie right in the beginning of the round. Maurice took a lot of damage there. And this is going to be up to Chosen for now. They've been able to take down Chosen quite fast each time and just pinpoint where he is.
Viper's pit out. Kesnet with the late lurk. Here's all of this. There's that first one to fall. Pain shells denying that plant down. The Crew picks it right back up. There's only 5 seconds left. Flooding now inside the side. GZZ with 4 kills, looking for the ace. Just around the corner, and he's going to land it. A similar story from the first map. A 7-1 scoreline for Crew. A 9-3 end on the first half in favor of Crew as well.
Incredible stuff coming from Crew. Seeing Crew during the regular season and coming into LCQ, they were one of the worst defensive teams. On Bind, they didn't show that. Now, we get to wonder what they're going to be able to produce on this defense. It is scary the way that Crew is showing here. MIBR, however, grabbing that last one. It's one that they need. We're going to throw it to the desk to see what they're, to Smix rather, with EG's Calm and Jogmo.
Thank you very much, Rivington. As you mentioned, standing here with both Calm and Jogamo. So first things first, Calm, your haircut's looking great. I know you just got back from Japan recently. So how was that experience for you being in Japan and your team performing as it did?
I mean, being in Japan, all those fans were insane. Obviously, we're coming into Champions, and it's going to be in LA with this great crowd. And I'm hoping it's the same way in LA, and everyone comes out and supports us.
What about for you, Com? I know that Potter mentioned the team was really looking forward to that experience of playing in Japan. How is it for you?
For me, I mean, the Japanese crowd is crazy. They love everybody that comes and plays. Like, I didn't have a team there, unfortunately, but like they supported EG all the way through, and even to the finals. Even on my birthday, like they supported me, and we love the Japanese crowd for that for sure.
Now, how has the time for you and the boys been preparing for Champions? I know we still have a couple of weeks. Were you able to take some time off for a proper break? Are you back into practicing in scrims? How's that been going for you?
We took like a little break, maybe just a week, and we're straight back into scrims. Obviously trying to get past Fnatic, big hurdle, but I'm really excited to see what we can show in Champions.
All right, last question, Com. I see you holding something here. Oh, Giacomo, it's an MIBR flag, and Com, I know you're wearing one as well. I think these boys need your support. What can we hear from you so that the boys get revitalized in the second map?
That's you, bro. Hey, come on, let's go, Toxic. Come on, let's go, Chosen. Come on, we got this. JZZ, come on, we all got this. Come on, you guys got this in the bag.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, both Com and Jaw, Rivington and Vanzelli. Back to you, boys.
If I ever need a hype man, I found it.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Will we get Giacomo here as our hype man?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. MIBR fans right there for sure. And Giacomo and Com. And they are looking for MIBR here to step up in the second half, coming out with a strong attack. So now Crew's definitive defense.
And Crew also is a team that never really had such a strong defensive showing throughout the season, and now has been dominant on the first map off Bind on defense and looking to do the same here and close out the series. In a confident fashion, early Paranoia coming out with a 3-player push out from Crew towards A. Meanwhile, though, for MIBR, going straight with the satchels down to 16 HP. And that was just going through the toxic screen. As MIBR is looking for that plant in B.
Are they taunting? They're waiting. They want some frags before they do this. They want to feel more comfortable. Oh.
Yeah, these are looking really good here on these lurk, on these pushes. The pivot back towards the C site into Davies' utility. There goes the cavalry pushing forward on the attack. He denies at least one of those 3 players of MIBR. Planning now for spawn. Pain shells on the ground denying that plant. And it might be another book it into a different spot.
Klaus. A big 2v1. One shot on Maurice. Gets it.
Yeah.
RGL is going to take a bit more, but this is definitely a possibility, especially the way Klaus has been playing.
Oof. Sees them both. And you mentioned it. RGL now being the shield. Simple as that for the Red Bull clutch. What an insane shot.
Here it is again. The high-low isn't even good enough. And Kesnet with the vamos! Oh my God, what a round! Crew is explosive, and Klaus, the fuse is just so short for the entire series right now.
Santa Claus coming, bearing gifts with these shots. Now winning the round against MIBR, continuing the pressure and the shots, dropping Maurice early here. As MIBR potentially flattened. Thought that they had the opportunity to work that map on that previous round and just got denied like that.
Such a devastating shot. You see this round start off. MIBR is going to get their own share of shots.
Well, it's still Klaus, though. It continues.
My word.
Last player standing.
Christmas in July.
You can say that again. LCQ Klaus is of a different breed here. And there is Nagzat to finalize the last one. Just 2 away from moving on here in LCQ and MIBR. out of that tournament, out of the tournament. It's incredible pressure coming into this series today here, and Crew has not let that pressure affect them.
Now time to play the bonus. MIBR, silver lining once again, full rifles out. JZZ actually has 3 all points or orbs needed now to get the showstopper. So an opportunity to work the map slowly and try to cap on these orb pickups. Chosen's watching for that push, but meanwhile the rest of MIBR are definitely looking for control on mountain, potentially an orb pickup, and there it is.
Slow play here as Crew. Look at this 3 squad moving from B to the backside. The defense here is MIBR safely move into the site of C to get this plant down. Oof.
Smoke dissipates and Kesnet punishes JZZ right away.
They have a post plant for this as well. Chosen has a few mollies that could get set up for this, but
they got Seekers too.
Yeah, they play in sight to keep it protected.
Seekers close range stinger. Paz is running right behind it, flash out from the dark cover. And he's looking. Nice paranoia coming out too, just to slow down that push. But Crew have finally made it in. RGL Meister playing on an off angle. Capitalizes on 1 kill, but cannot do more than that. Davies trades it right off. 2 more alive, make that only Chosen in this spot before he's good for it. But only for that one. Melzer with the Sheriff will put Crew at map and series point.
You can almost see the trades that MIBR is trying, but for fear of losing themselves while they anchor a trade, they're not happening as fast as Crew. Look at Crew, all surrounding each other there. Well, they have more members, but in just the trades, the positioning they are, and MIBR is still working around, figuring what angle they're going to be pushed from, not having the answer. Crew is creating such chaos, and they're thriving in it here on the retakes. 1 round away from locking in another LCQ match.
This is the LCQ Crew, the team to be afraid of, the team that keeps running these gauntlets in their regions before we had the inaugural season here for the VCTs in Americas. And they're definitely looking like a Crew to be afraid of in this gauntlet run.
This is what Adam was talking about. This is a team that has seen international stages throughout their career. They know what it means to go deep into a tournament. Seeing Crew get so ruffled throughout the regular season was not what anybody expected in America. It's supposed to be a powerhouse coming through, and we're seeing a bit of that life now out of Crew and LCQ. Game point here, series point, because we have a minute left in this round, and MIBR is playing it slow but steady.
In a matchup that was presented by the analyst desk, the Kesnet versus JZZ, both of them with showstoppers now. JZZ the one to initiate first to clear out the site. Off angle being played here for Nagzit. So we're gonna try to go for a nanoswarm off the snakebite to do more damage and hopefully cancel out the first execution.
Little delay.
It's a door being opened. MIBR pivots back towards the B site. And JZZ clears it out. Even moving out towards the spawn. Just around the corner! Oh my! Not even a chance to release it. Klaus gets the kill, traded off now by FRZ. Oh! FRZ also cancels out the showstopper from Kesnet, allowing the Seekers to come out and spot the remaining players of Crew.
3v4 here, low HP on Crew. Healed up now.
Oh, that's probably going to be the call now for Crew to just save.
Seems it.
Heroic plays by FRZ once again, but gets denied as he's hunting for kills, trying to hurt the economy of Crew. Clean shot.
Yeah, a lot of searching right now for MIBR. There's so much they actually have to do in an uphill battle of economy. Taking down Crew, figuring out what kind of plays Crew is defending with. This time, MIBR took it into their own hands, rushing down through that mid with the ultimate, and being able to make it count. FRZ with some very big frags on that one.
Oh, yeah.
13 and 5 for him, and still trying to put up the frags, being pressured. Man, Klaus, just so good right now.
And this one right after, too.
Stone cold.
Feels like I've cast a curse both of the showstoppers there. Saying how important they were going to be, but great shots coming out here from both teams to not allow these showstopper to get much value in that round number 16. 17 now underway. Chosen 2 away from a lockdown. And MIBR are just holding their spawns, waiting for Crew, waiting Crew's utility out actually early in this round.
Already, a situation like this, Crew knows it's BC, right? You can't really rush fast towards A if you still have to get by Rubble. Great positioning by Melzer, now forces MIBR to figure out what's going on around the map. Here it looks like they may try to source that information as this one-way clears.
Trailblazer at the minute mark. Reese has a lineup here for Rubble, trying to push out Melzer. Trailblazer also trying to clear him out. Paranoia hits him, gets away. But there's still the swing out from Kesdit. Cannot catch one off guard. MIBR still finally, they gain control of a Rubble. They could start moving up here as soon as a toxic screen from the defensive side of Crew falls down.
And look what they're making. MIBR used to gain this space so much. There's no FRZ utility for the site until a signature comes back up, a guiding light. And Crew continues the backpedal, saying keep coming into the trap.
Yeah. Nice shot by JZZ. Keeping a spike here on RGL just in case he needs to TP away for a last second plant. Davies trying to hold back the site, but he gets pushed away by a snake bite.
Spike planted.
Awesome pivot here by MIBR to keep getting through and get that site. Solid defense too. I don't think Crew's gonna want too much of this.
Or what they have now for Melzer with his Guardian.
Oh, they are pushing.
He is pushing forward. They have pinched a couple of players back in the B site here. As MIBR is looking for the exit out towards the baby door. JZZ will get the backstab. And that's how you do it. The Grinch stealing away the presents. The Clouds has been giving over to Crew this whole map. And that's a good way to bring the confidence back here for MIBR, securing the round and also having fun with it.
That is huge. Backs against the wall in a series point here. A season ender, and they still continue to produce the results. See if they can push another one through. This one, saying that, you know, they lost all that initiator utility. It took them so much just to re-grab Rubble and still know that they can forcefully take through Baby Door into B as a team. That's, I think, what we were seeing from MIBR. Be a little hesitant, not covering each other, a little too distant on those takes of each other, and not being able to anchor. As well as we talked about before, desynced in what was happening around the map for the strategies they were trying to handle Crew with. Someone dying while a push was happening, etc., somebody not in position yet. Similar scoreline to map number 1 here as Crew goes for the timeout.
Definitely some discussions being made here for Crew on their defensive half. Yes, they're able to, like you said here, add that pressure as they wanted to play that triple push towards that A site. It seems to be the norm right now in these type of compositions too. Just trying to get your Omen into a great position, continue these one ways, and try to pivot back to where the default may be happening from the attack. But MIBR so far has done a pretty decent job here, rotating back and forth and then re-hitting back into a weaker A hold after the Rubble take. It seems like it might be the same thing once again now for Crew. This time with lower weaponry. 2 Guardians, 1 Vandal. Actually a hero buy from what we see previously. Or a hero rifle, sorry, from what we say previously. And JZZ going behind Snake Bites between Snake Bites, burning down to 16 HP.
Oof. What a play. Klaus going down first. Huge frag for MIBR here as they want to get to JZZ to see if they can get a heal back in.
Yeah.
There we go.
We sweated for a bit. But thankfully, the regrowth then comes out for FRZ, popping everybody back up and also getting a player advantage for MIBR.
Do they get the ult here? Actually, for Davies at B. I think that brings in a lockdown being watched currently. It's on the mind of MIBR too. They do not want to give up any of these ultimates for free. A little bit of stretch towards B. MIBR is everywhere here. Confidence in their solo play. Proven me wrong that they are timid to get these angles and take these points of aggression.
Still a good read by Crew, though.
Yeah.
Gamble stacking now to rotate towards the C side. They read it perfectly because that's exactly where MIBR is currently setting foot. Setting up camp, setting up shot, putting the spike down. Shot missed, though, by Kesnet.
Okay.
Doing a little bit of damage here. That's 2.
Yeah, MIBR gets it. Chosen, RGL, FRZ stay alive. Still great money in the economy here for MIBR as they are getting the crowd riled up once again. Kesnet close to ultimate. A lot of ults going to be up on this round, and it could swing it back in favor of Crew, but MIBR seems to have a very nice hold on the game right now. A lot of their movement before seemed like retaking the map was too much trouble.
Yeah.
They would always lose one, get whittled down before they actually had positioning to take a site. And here, they're making it forward much healthier, much more aware of what Crew is doing.
If you want to look at the chess match between these ultimates, they're definitely giving the advantage for Crew. Having a lockdown and a Seeker to push Maurice away if a pit does go down. So MIBR have to be wary of that detail. As orb control comes in for MIBR, JZZ has a showstopper now online.
You can say, I think Crew are expecting a showstopper into sight here.
There's that showstopper in with a push that came out from Crew on a defense. Nanoswarm does some chipping damage.
Welcome to my world.
Great
There's
pressure.
that pit. In a great area as well. Because if a lockdown goes in at a default spot in the waterfall, it's going to be easy for Marines to push forward to deny that lockdown from coming down. So first, it's going to be the Seekers for Crew. Pain Shells to shove some players back. And we know that they're deep inside the pit, deep inside C for MIBR. The post plant as RGL does get the flick out onto Nagset. Marie's inside of his own pit, waiting out the outlines. The lockdown then comes in. A first one into Melzer, and the post plant works so far for MIBR. One player advantage for MIBR. Make that 2. As Klaus heroic plays before. 2 versus 1. TP away. And now he's going to save his weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, he's going to get caught here by RGL. That's 7 rounds now. And that's a perfect play from MIBR, recognizing those 2 ults that we just mentioned that Crew had for this retake.
All it takes is 1 round from Crew here, but MIBR is not allowing that. Forceful into the sites, gaining control, being able to garrison the site, and their post plants much like the regular season. Basically second in post plants and being able to control teams after they get that spike down. We didn't see them getting the spike down on Bind, which is why we did not see that stat come to fruition for them again. Here, they're getting to the site, they're getting to that strong point of their composition in the post plant, and it is putting a lot of pain towards Crew here on the defending side. Towards C once again.
Pain also in the pockets for Crew. Tried to go for a gamble play to do a trap play towards Rubble in case we had a TP across or a double satchel from RGL and JZZ. MIBR opt to work the C site.
There.
A little bit of overcommitment here. Thankfully, the satchels allows JZZ to fall back here and get all that information of Crew rotating back towards the spawn.
Great paranoia.
Yeah, that's going to blind a lot of people here. Waste that clock down on that spike. Off angle being played, waiting for the flash to come out. Out on a defense, double flash through, but still it's MIBR just spraying across the smoke, all towards spawn. Even a flank coming through towards the back end. And MIBR closing that gap now against Crew.
5 in a row. And only 4 more to bring this to overtime. MIBR's pick. Playing out a little bit better here. So many Vandalers for the amount of smoke kills we're seeing coming through. You love to still see the preference stay true there. FRZ with Seekers. Big find on this. Kesnet 1 away from ultimate on that defensive side. And A is the play. Everybody tries to gain this Rebel control.
And it's this round that you have the double satchel and TP across. JZZ opens it up against Melzer. They lose control now, Crew of the A site, at least towards the orb. As Davies is looking for the jiggle. There's that first swing out. Maurice falls. And the Seekers are trying to gain that information, pushing players back. That was out from MIBR. As they push him far enough, we break the door. JZZ now moves into B.
They've lost the majority of smokes here. Have to use this wall. RGL could put up a few good ones, but it looks like they're just going to try to pile through into A possibly.
Yeah, they're going to use this lockdown. And meanwhile, Davies is still holding towards the spawn, thinking that there's going to be a JZZ push, a late lurk. And they know this. All right. So they're re-clearing towards B. Meanwhile, we're playing very cautiously for MIBR, making sure that there's nobody pushing, doing any shenanigans before getting detained. Spike then goes, actually gets denied. Nice little satchel and even a snake butt on the ground. And first it's 8 HP and still gets the headshot onto Kesnet.
Just never ends.
Another one to come down the ropes. Nagset now evens it up on a 2 versus 2.
One enemy remaining.
Tournament on the line now for MIBR. Their lives on the line as they're playing the post plan against Nags.
And no one peeks this.
Tapping on the spike. RGL peeking out first. There's the first.
Wait a minute.
Nags to come out with their heroic play. Trying to get it a half. Now off it. The tap again. Low HP is going to be JZZ. Spike not yet at half.
He can see it's red. He can see it's red.
But it does get it. The classic. Shot to JZZ. Dumps it for the defuse. And Crew gets it done.
Crew knocking out MIBR, solidifying a further path through LCQ, and they do it in great fashion. A little slippery towards the end, but they came with answers, and they came to play today. The Red Bull clutch from Nags in the 1v2. Classic Nags there, classic Nags.
It can't be anybody else but Nags to win a Red Bull clutch to help Crew move forward and unfortunately eliminate MIBR from the LCQ Gauntlet run. A player also throughout the whole season where they were questioning him as to why he's still in the roster, and that's one of the reasons why. When it comes down to these moments, they could get it done, and unfortunately here you can see the defeated faces of MIBR, who they as well had a great start in this season of Americas here, Riv. Starting off very strong with victories and then unfortunately falling flat towards that mid-season. Flashes in the pan, hopes coming out with the victory that they had in their last week against 100 Thieves that allowed EG to have that Cinderella run at Tokyo. But it ends like this. A rematch once again against Crew, where Crew is able to get the revenge victory, a loss that they had against MIBR in week number 2.
And a first series victory, like you said. It feels good.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta put that in the trophy case. Crew find that win in Americas, albeit LCQ. They did it in amazing fashion and verifying that Crew has a new identity to play through. They were versatile this game. Everybody was having great flat frags, and you still had Klaus star power, which isn't something you usually say, but you had the Klaus star power coming through. Now they have to bring this Fury to Furia, Vance. This is not going to be an easy run. We said it before. Crew has a long road ahead of them that they need to produce the same result.
With this performance that we currently see from Crew, though, with how they dismantled MIBR this series, is it back to that storyline that you could bring once again for Crew? That era where Crew would never lost to a Brazilian team.
Yeah.
They have a chance to do that and to prove it when they're going to play against Furia. But of course, we can at least put our hands together to a great season for MIBR for their inaugural season that they have in Americas. But yes, here are the victors still. Crew moving forward. 0-8 in the season. Their first win and a win at LCQ.
And Crew finding a groove with the Davies in the composition, whether it was Achetti or Daves at the end of the season. They find Davies, he finds a lot of the frags, and it seems like the team feels pretty complete in this form right here. MIBR did the same, right? Both of these teams were trying to find players that would fit the role at the end of the season, and it was Crew that was able to use that roster to bolster what they needed to find this win.
It's pretty insane to see this too. Yes, Kesdin has put some great numbers, but they mentioned it at the desk here, Rivington, where it was all about Kesdin just landing all of these pain shells utilities, so he never really needed to like step up and own.
Multiple nades every round.
And if he gets to shoot just like everybody else, man, Crew is definitely one team to look out for. But at least for now, stick around. We'll have the desk breakdown and the Verizon post-match interview with Kesdin after this short break.
With Verizon's new My Plan, I get exactly what I want and only pay for what I need.
Now I'm in charge of my plan.
Introducing My Plan from Verizon. You get exactly what you want and only pay for what you need. And it all starts at just $30. It's your Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, everyone, to the VCT Last Chance Qualifier. As I'm standing here for the Verizon post-match interview with Kesnet as crew take down MIBR in very convincing 2-0 fashion. So first things first, Kesnet, congratulations. What an amazing performance from you and the team. There's no question that this win has been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. Throughout the season, we saw such flashes of brilliance from you and the boys, but just never able to close it out. And finally, here at the Last Chance Qualifier, we see a brilliant performance. What does it mean for you to finally get your first win of 2023?
Primero que todo, felicitaciones, y esta es una victoria y que se estaba esperando, que habíamos visto todas las cosas que habían logrado hacer dentro de los mapas y cómo lograban brillar, pero ahora sí es la victoria que consiguen. ¿Qué se siente finalmente conseguirla?
Lo primero, es raro estar aquí porque ya perdimos todos los matches en la serie pasada, pero venimos trabajando, esforzándonos full, nos tomamos pocos días de break y quisimos venir con la rabia, con todo eso, de que nunca se nos había dado un partido, vinimos con todo, trabajando duro y hasta que se nos dio, en algún momento se tenía que dar.
First of all, it feels a little bit weird to be here and finally to be able to get that win, but we took a small break, we were able to rest, and we came here with kind of the anger and everything that we wanted to let off for the match, and it was a match that we needed to win at some point.
Absolutely. When we spoke to Coach Adam earlier, he talked about how the team sort of had this mental block. You know, you went through so many difficult losses in a row, and he mentioned that it was really important for the team to be able to have those 20 days off. Talk about what that did for you personally as a player, and then how did that reset your mindset as you headed back into then the 31 days of practice leading up to today?
Una de las cosas que estaba diciendo el coach Atom era que tenían como un block mental y que era necesario que se tomaran esos 20 días de descanso. ¿Qué se sentía para ti poder tomar esos 20 días de descanso? ¿Qué significaron poder descansar y volver?
Yo creo que esos 20 días nos sirvió para reiniciar claramente, porque todos vimos que nosotros intentábamos, pero no se nos da por ese pequeñito ansiedad, muchos factores que no sabíamos solucionarlo, y yo creo que ahora es el momento de mostrar todo lo que venimos trabajando después de este largo periodo, y creo que se nos está dando bien.
I think the break was really nice to restart, to reset, and to go again. We saw a lot of times where it was coming really close, but it was maybe a little bit of anxiety, maybe just a little bit that was missing. And it's important to be able to come back and be able to demonstrate this.
And we've definitely heard that the team has been practicing hard and showing some great results in scrims, and you have a long road ahead of you now with this win. 4 more matches to possibly qualify, and your next opponent is going to be Furia after taking down one Brazilian opponent. What are your thoughts about going up against them?
Y con los resultados que han tenido ahora, el siguiente oponente va a ser en contra de Furia. Ya derrotaste la primera escuadra de Brasil, ahora falta la siguiente. ¿Cuáles son tus pensamientos acerca de esta partida?
Yo creo que Furia es un equipo bueno, por algo está acá y dio buenos resultados. Yo creo que va a ser un partido entretenido y explosivo para la gente. Eso es lo que espero. Yo me divierto contra ellos y me da más gusto ganarle a brasileños, así que está bien.
This is a team that is really good, a team that is going to be great, and the match is going to be very entertaining, very explosive. He likes to play against them, and he likes to take down the Brazilian guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Kesnet, for sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much, Dryad, for the translations. And with that, it will be Kesnet moving forward against Furia tomorrow as crew take down MIBR 2-0. Golden Boy, back to you on the desk.
Thank you so much for that, Smix. Yes, we're very excited to see crew take on Furia, but we're also excited for our guests here. We have Klaus joining us today. First and foremost, congratulations. It must have felt great to finally get that well-deserved, well-earned win on the VCT Americas stage.
Thank you for you having me here, and that's it. Just give me questions.
Yes, I got you. Okay, you want questions?
Yeah.
We got you covered. It's kind of our job here. But I think the first thing to ask, right, is obviously, you know, one thing that our fans always want to know more about is like the preparation, getting ready for. What were you guys really trying to like fix from, you know, the end of VCT Americas until now to put yourself in this position to be able to win today?
We like after the vacations we took like 10 days vacations after the league. So when we came, we did a reset mental, and we leave all the league stuff behind, because obviously it was like it was not the result that we want, obviously, because it was actually all the maps were close in the league, so it was kind of suspicious that 9-0. So we leave that in the past and we move forward on that. The only thing that we are focusing is like the mental, the communicating when communicating in the game. We have like a better feeling in us, better like.
Yeah. Like you're feeling better.
Yeah,
you're feeling
better with each other, you know? Like, that's it.
You're talking more to one another.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's very healthy as well for the team.
Yeah, it's a really good improvement for the team to have. And I wanted to ask for you guys, because this is obviously very different than playing at home. You guys were always so dominant in Latin America, and now you're playing here in Los Angeles. You've had to move away from your family, from your friends, and really sacrifice a lot to be here. And I just kind of wanted to ask, like, what is the pressure for the South American teams who have had to kind of really put so much aside to come and compete when you're playing, to be able to set that aside and still be able to play at your best?
Yeah, obviously, I think moving here in LA is like a way too different thing from the last year, you know, because we play it like the scrims are better, the teams are better.
The quality of players.
The quality of players. You have a lot of like different play styles. You have like, obviously, if you come into a league and playing in the league is going to be 100% more difficult to play, obviously, because there's more level. So that was also was that, and also was like moving far to home. Like you are like not with your
There's no relation.
Not in your home, so it's like kind of difficult, because obviously you are like missing, I don't know, your family, something like that, and you are like just working all the days doing a routinary thing, and that's kind of stressful. And obviously that's it.
Yeah, no, it is stressful. I mean, you know, even I'm sure like we all, when we do the international events, we're away for a month, and it's hard. I can't even imagine what it's like, and you have even more pressure on top of you, way more pressure than we ever would. So it's incredible how you guys are still able to keep yourselves focused and stay vigilant to be able to get that win, which is what you did today. You picked up a massive win, which is huge. You stay alive in the rest of this tournament. Now, of course, let's talk about some of the top performers in that game as well, because we do gotta, obviously, you popped off, and that Sheriff kill was incredible, by the way. Well done. Love that. Teach me. But let's actually talk about, Davies, another guy who popped off big time, Wyatt, and found himself quite a few awesome moments in this series.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about Davies' progression in the team, being one of the new guys to crew this year. And frankly, I mean, he started pretty slow at the beginning of the season, and then towards the end of that game against Cloud9, a couple of those last games of the season, he really came into his own. And again, today on this second map, he was just out of control. So what has the difference for him been individually from the beginning of the season to the end, where he's gotten so good?
I think it's like I said before, it's more like he didn't feel comfort in the team at the beginning, because obviously you're far from home. It's a new team, it's a new core. So we didn't have like that feeling with each other, like he didn't have
synergy.
The symmetry,
Synergy.
Yeah.
But symmetry works too, funny enough.
But it was more like that with him, and obviously with everyone, because we at the start of the season we did talk like too much with us. Like we didn't have like too much. Oh, you can do this, or like oh, you're missing this, or like.
So you guys weren't like necessarily figuring out where to slot everyone.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think that's the most important thing that we improve in this like last chance. So that's it. David feels more comfortable with the team now. And me, obviously, everyone is feeling more comfortable, having more confidence with each other. So that's it.
It shows. It shows.
What do you think the biggest thing is? Like when you were discussing, when you were talking to your coach during that little break that you all had, that actually kind of helped you break through that mental barrier you guys had? Because I think obviously losing all those games in the fashion you did has got to be heartbreaking. Now today, being able to close out fairly cleanly in both of those matches, what do you think the biggest thing was that you guys improved on during the break between the regular season and now to be able to actually kind of fix those mental issues and close this match out?
Yeah, I think like our coach is focusing a lot more on this season of like having a good mental, like everyone having a positive mindset. Like everyone needs to like don't be the hero of the match. Like when someone goes pushing long and tries to kill 4, and
I can remember that.
Yeah, that's not how the game works. So
no, it's not how the game is supposed to be played.
So you don't need to get like a tilt or something like that. Just that's the thing that we're focusing now in this last chance, and we are just having a good mindset. We are obviously talking with the
psychologist.
Sí, psychologist.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's it. We obviously the most important thing is being a group, and we also being friends, also a player. So
yeah. Well, I mean, of course, when you're an org that's owned by Sergio Aguero, and sports psychology is like absolutely massive in that field. So it's a great thing that they're bringing that in to help you guys out, which of course is excellent and very excited. And we'll talk more, don't worry. But for now, though, we do have to say goodbye to MIBR because they are the first team that was eliminated from the LCQ. And as we talk a little bit about this squad and send them home here, it is a little heartbreaking, right, to have kind of seen the way that things broke down for this team. But still, even with that being said, memorable moments across the board. And I'm just hoping that they take this experience from this season and just add on to it and grow from it as they get ready for the next year.
Yeah, I think the real heartbreaking thing for MIBR this season is how strong they started. They had those memorable matches early on. They beat NRG, of all teams, in one of the first matches of the season. And all of a sudden, the expectations for the team were so high. And that's hopefully what we can kind of reflect on from their season, not so much what the trajectory after that, but that they did reach a pretty insane peak. And in the future, if they can get back to that again, they'll be a team to watch.
I think people will also remember just the way they shifted the whole timeline of VALORANT in knifing someone.
I like how we keep saying that the timeline got shifted, but this is our timeline.
It's the real one.
It is the real one.
They get the upset over 100 Thieves. EG ends up second place at Tokyo. They had their moments. I think next year it's about finding consistency for MIBR.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Well, of course, that means that our first match is in the books. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket, see where we are right now. With that win, Crew move on. Feels good to say that as well. Crew will take on Furia, and then we have the Clout matchup as Sentinels take on 100 Thieves yet again. You know what, though, Klaus? I want to get your thoughts on this because, look, without a doubt, you see the track. You'd have to beat Furia, then you have to beat Leviatán, and then you need to beat either the winner of C9 and the 3 teams that are there. It's a long journey.
It's a long run.
Yeah, are you guys like mentally prepared for this? Is this like the objective, or is it like go as far as you can and see what happens?
No, I think we are like 100%. We have our minds in winning the all tournament.
Damn right, I like that.
And lower run.
Yeah, I like that, man. Just screw it. Just be like, we're going for the whole thing.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Do you feel any energy in this tournament after that first win, similar to what you guys had in Champions 2021 when you went on your big run?
Yeah, it feels similar. Like when I wake up, like just as I feel like the most thing that I wanted is just win all the tournament and just I just wake up and say like, today I won't like.
Today I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. I love it, man. You know what, dude? Your energy is infectious, and I absolutely appreciate you coming on here and talking with us, brother. Much love. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do in the rest of the competition. But that's basically going to do it for us here today. And what a day it was. Crew picks up their first wins. They say you can't take them out 10 times, and you sure as heck can't, because they walked away with a dub here today, and then they're going to take on Furia when we see them next. That's going to do it for us here today. We have plenty more action coming at you tomorrow, so you don't want to miss it. Same time, same place. Thank you so much for watching, and here's your Prime Gaming post-day highlights. We'll see you tomorrow. The stakes couldn't be higher. You got 7 teams that are vying for the last spot at Champions LA, and you've got to win it all or your year is done. And these 2 teams have a monumental task ahead of them.
It's Chosen finally opens up the site for a bit. The showstopper out. Klaus also
Spike's not down.
The plant coming down, and that's a 4K and ace for Klaus. Sprays through the toxic screen as a 1-for-1 comes in. Nice flash from Maurice to then come in for the last 2. Klaus getting ready for a second flash. The peak comes out once again. A triple swing, all in favor so far of Crew. Now on a 2 versus 1. Paint shells line up, not even needed. And with the half buy, Crew closes the first map, 13-7.
You look at that econ too. 0, 150, 100, 1,050 credits. FRZ though?
At least you can get a couple of highlight reels if you can for FRZ. There's that flash to peek right back out. The trades are good for both of the teams. Now finally in favor of MIBR. Only 5 seconds left. Flooding now inside the side. GZZ with 4 kills, looking for the ace. Just around the corner, and he's gonna land it. And you mentioned it, RGL now being the shield. Still like that for the Red Bull clutch. And Crew gets it done.
Crew knocking out MIBR, solidifying a further path through LCQ, and they do it in great fashion.